Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the Singapore Grand Prix qualifying watch-along. How are we all doing this afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world? Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Just to answer one question in the chat straight away from Rossi. What changed, Sean? Why have we got a qualifying watch-along? Well, to keep a very long story short, the thing that was supposed to be happening mid-afternoon now isn't happening till this evening, so I've got some time this afternoon, so I thought, why not come back and do the quali watch-along? There you go. That's the long story short. I hope you're all having a good day, though, and ready for what could be a fascinating qualifying session, although maybe not as close as it looked yesterday. I will run through the FP3 times, actually. We'll start with that. Lando Norris has sort of turned up this morning and delivered a lap that has surprised a few people. Not so much that he's fastest as he was this morning, but by the margin, nearly half a second clear of George Russell, which was also a surprise in second place. Oscar Piastri, third place, 8/10 off his teammate Max Verstappen, 9/10 in fourth place, which sounds awful, but actually given where Red Bull looked earlier in the weekend, probably not too bad, actually. Fifth place for Charles Leclerc, way off where we expected him to be. That could change in qualifying, of course, this morning's session. Not really representative, so maybe things will turn around for Ferrari in quali. Charles Leclerc, fifth, like I say, sixth for Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton, seventh, and Alex Albon in eighth, with Franco Colapinto in ninth. Just 0.04 of a second off his teammate, doing a cracking job again so far this weekend. Fernando Alonso rounds out the top 10, 1.4 seconds off the pace. Yuki Tsunoda not too far back in 11th. Nico Hulkenberg 12th. Kevin Magnussen 13th. Pierre Gasly in 14th. Sergio Perez down in 15th. That was a surprise. Esteban Ocon in 16th. Daniel Ricciardo, question marks over his future, of course, 17th. Lance Stroll in 18th. Valtteri Bottas 19th. And Zhou Guanyu in 20th place. 0.6 of a second slower than his teammates. But I don't think any great surprises to see Sauber right at the back there. But yeah, not a representative session, I know that. But still, a big statement lap from Lando Norris this morning. Let's see what happens in around about 22 minutes time, just over, and see what goes on in qualifying. I think it'll be closer than that. For much of the weekend to this point, it has looked like Norris versus Leclerc, hasn't it? So we'll see how things go. It wasn't a tea party, no, Rossi. You can pop your questions in chat. We'll do what we do at the start of these all the time and do a bit of Q&A. Lots to talk about. I'm sure there'll be things you want to ask me about the McLaren DRS, but limit it to a point because you know my technical knowledge is absolutely horrific, so I won't be able to say too much on it. Give my view, but a lot of talk around that. I'll give you the kind of outline of that one. So we know we saw, or you may have seen on social media, the ends of the DRS flap, if you like, sort of flexing quite a bit, and people have called that mini DRS, and it may have given them an advantage and blah, blah, blah. The FIA put a statement out earlier in the week saying that, where's that statement gone? I had it ready specifically for this. So, yeah, they passed every single test. The FIA had no issue with the rear wing design. They were talking about monitoring it, etc., over the coming races, and if they think somebody's breaking the rules, basically they will step in and take action. But McLaren have taken proactive measures. I'll read you their statement. It's totally legal, of course, officially, but while our Baku rear wing complies with the regulations and passes all FIA deflection tests, McLaren has proactively offered to make some minor adjustments to the wing following our conversations with the FIA. We would also expect the FIA to have similar conversations with other teams in relation to the compliance of their rear wings. So, bit of confusion about this, who's complained about it, who's protested. Helmut Marko's come out and said a few things as well, allegedly. I will say, carefully, I have to say this, but I will say to everybody in chat and everyone on social media, just this weekend in particular, for some reason, there are a lot of fake quotes being thrown around, so please just be careful what you read and what you take seriously. Wait for a genuine source to report on it, or a reliable source, because there's been some really random quotes flying around, some stuff that were apparently attributed to Helmut Marko, some stuff that was attributed to Bradley Lord, and some of it's nonsense, some of it may be true, but it just be very careful what you're reading out there, because I don't know what's happened this weekend, but for some reason, yeah, it's all. People are just, I don't know, maybe they need some clicks. Maybe this season is just not exciting enough for them. They've got to make stuff up for clicks. But also remember that you have got reputable people out there who will give you the news, but the news they give you will be what they have at the time they publish articles and things, and that can change in the ever fast-paced and changing world of Formula One. It's 1 minute a quote's true, the next minute's in. It's very weird. So just be careful. And all accidents are accidents' fault. Exactly cited canvas. That's all you need to know. But yeah, I'm not sure what is going on with the rear wing. I don't know how much of an advantage it gave them in Baku. There is maybe an argument that that little bit of mini DRS maybe helped to keep Leclerc at bay. But I've got my old head sort of says if that did give them the advantage, why have they made changes? If that is what is it Oscar Piastri called it, the magic bullet or the silver bullet, if that is the thing that's giving McLaren their advantage, why have they offered to change it so quickly? I think it probably did play its part in things, but I'd be very surprised if that is the thing that has made McLaren fast, given they haven't used it at every track this year. And if I had something that was the magic bullet on my car, I wouldn't then take it off and whatever. Maybe they just want to avoid a protest, I don't know. But let me know what you think on that one in chat. It's all classic F1. It's part of F1. I love it. I love this side of it. I may not totally understand the technical side as well as some others do, but I love this arguing over little bits on the rear wing that move a bit too much and asymmetrical braking and all of those things. It's all part of F1. I'm going to bring out the line, you know what's coming. F1's about technical innovation. I want to see teams pushing the boundaries. I want to see people going right to the line and maybe just stepping over to test where the line is. But I would much rather see teams rise to the technical challenge, there it is, than go crying to the FIA. So we'll see what happens with that one. But McLaren are making changes, so unlikely we'll see it again. But I'd be fascinated to know what you think about how much of an advantage that may have had. Yeah. Let's not get into Oscar's name. So that's that on the rear wing. Let me know what you think. The other one that's really kicking off this weekend is about naughty words. Yeah, naughty words. Thankfully, I never swear, so that's okay. But anyone else think this is just a little bit pathetic? Full stop. End of. It's a word. I think there's a massive difference. I think Max Verstappen made the point. There's a huge difference between dropping the F-bomb in conversation and calling somebody the F-bomb. I think if Max Verstappen had sat in a press conference and started tearing strips off the host or a journalist, calling them an effing this and an effing that, then yeah, the FIA need to have a word. But I think using that word in the context it was used in was absolutely bloody fine. It's so pathetic. And it's really weird to me that the FIA Perez seems at times so unbelievably obsessed with non-issues and then doesn't seem to want to deal with the actual issues. It's very weird to me. I just think, but I can't read him anyway. 1 week he's saying he's taking a step back from F1, the next week he's on every single bloody podium. So there you go. It's just silly. It's so silly. And I know that people will say, bad language, it's not a good thing. It shows, somebody said the other day, a lack of intelligence and a lack of ability with language if you swear, but it's part of language. I completely disagree with that. And if you're calling somebody names, it's not necessary. And yes, maybe something needs to be said then, but if someone's just using bad language, it really doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't. Quite frankly, it's so daft. It really is. But hey, it's the world of F1. The things we've seen this weekend, the fake quotes, the arguing over flexi wings, the new rules around or for enforcement of rules around swearing to give you community service, equivalent in F1, red flagging a session because Godzilla's on the track. It's just been one of those weird bloody weekends. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Also, first time today I've ever seen a lizard run. Hilarious. One of the that needs to be to the Benny Hill music if someone hasn't already. It was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, no, it's exactly, Rossi. I think the world's gone a bit that way, but it's don't abuse people, don't be rude to people, don't call somebody names. But if you want to say your car is effed, then it doesn't matter, does it? I don't know. I don't get it. But they are the two of the biggest stories I would say from this weekend: mini DRS and bad language. But one seems like a storm in a teacup, and the other one seems to have already gone quiet. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks, days, months, whatever. Around it is hot and humid. Maybe that's what. Yeah, maybe it is the humidity cited canvas. We'll have a look when we get to the watch on screen what humidity is today. But I'm guessing quite a bit clammy, I would say. Quite warm out there. There's a piece I think good up on Sky if it hasn't been shown already about keeping cool in these temperatures for the drivers. So Max Verstappen, by the way, when asked what he thought of the penalty, if you like, that he got for swearing, he just said no words. That they were his words, no words, which means he did say words. But yeah, that's the two big stories, I guess. The third one, if you want to throw it in there, is the future of Daniel Ricciardo. Nobody really seems to know what the decision will be. There's a lot of rumours and a lot of people seem to think they know where it's going to go. I think Martin Brundle has said that he does not expect to see Daniel Ricciardo in the car for Austin. I don't know how Annette feels about that one. Gutted, I'd imagine, in many ways, but probably quite relieved, a bit like Martin Brundle is, that he's going to be put out of his misery. But there is also some speculation that maybe he could be kept within the Red Bull stable and could end up back in the Red Bull if maybe Perez doesn't deliver later in the year. But there's been this switch of narrative, hasn't it, at Red Bull as well? Me and Stuart were talking about this briefly yesterday. This sudden, actually, do you know what? Sergio Perez was right about the last 18 months of the car, and maybe we need to listen to him as well as Max Verstappen. I don't know. It just seems it's quite strange that that's sort of gone full circle now, that Perez is struggling, but actually now it's the car when he's been saying it for months. Now that Max Verstappen's struggling, it's quite funny. But yeah, there's that one. But the Ricciardo stuff, the official line, I guess you could call it the official line, is from Lauren McKeese, who said on the pit wall yesterday that they will review drivers or driver lineups after Singapore, and that's something they've been quite open about. I don't know if that's pushing it a little bit. I wouldn't say they've sat down. I've not read Red Bull specific, not even Helmut Marko specifically state prior to really this week that they were going to do any kind of review. It was all kind of implied by the statement they put out over the summer about, the driver lineups were staying the same after the summer break. It's an interesting few weeks though. They've got the opportunity to make a change after Singapore, but they've also got an opportunity to make a change after Brazil if they need to. So I do wonder if maybe they'll try and get on top of the car. I think they're a bit more confident about tracks like Kota. They think that could suit them more, Mexico, Brazil. So maybe they'll see if the car improves there. And if Perez doesn't step up, then maybe Ricciardo comes in for the final three. But we'll see what happens. I've got a creaky thing. Just ignore it. If you hear creaking, I need to oil me. It's my bones. It's the chair. The mic arm as well is creaky. But yeah, so see what happens with Ricciardo. But I suspect if he's dropped after Kota, my gut feeling would be that, and it is just an opinion, a gut feeling would be that he won't be there or back in F1 anytime soon, unless Sauber do decide to make the move. But I did see a question from somebody who asked for an opinion on it was C64. Your thoughts on the rumours of pints of cola is off to Sauber, Sean? I don't know. I've not really. I still think it's a bit late for Colapinto, but I think if he continues the way he is, there's an argument to be made that he's putting himself in the window, isn't he? He's giving himself opportunities, because Sauber might have said, right, here's our list of 3 drivers or whatever that list is. We're going to choose between them, and then they might have seen his performance in Monza, his performance particularly in Baku so far this weekend, and if he does pick up a point or finishes close to Albon this weekend, they might then turn around and go, well, actually, you know what, let's pop him on the list as well. So I think it's possible, but I would say that given that we are now coming towards the end of September, unbelievably coming towards the end of September, by the way, I don't know why the passage of time always surprises me, but it does. Unbelievably almost the end of September. I think it's a little bit late to be maybe change that list and I have an idea of which way they want to go. But I think if Colapinto continues to perform, you've got to throw him in there. According to Swiss publication Blick, Bottas has signed a new deal for 2025 with Sauber. If that's true, I'll be happy, says Pascal, our resident Sauber fan. That's your full name now, Pascal, I'm afraid. See, that's the one that wouldn't surprise me at all if Bottas stayed. I would, with all due respect, find it a little bit underwhelming. But Audi are coming in, first time in F1, new regulations. Is it better to go with a massively experienced lineup for your first couple of years and then maybe look at bringing a younger driver in the future? Possibly. You're not going to want to throw a young driver in 2026. I did see an interesting point actually today. That reminds me. Sorry, totally. It's on topic, but it's come back to me. I saw something on Twitter saying that they couldn't quite understand why teams don't want to put drivers in the car, young drivers in the car in 2026, but they had no problem when the regulations changed in 22. And I assume that's because it's 2022 was a massive regulation change, but 2026 is also a massive regulation change with the power units thrown in. So I assume it's to do with the fact that there's so much more changing on the car other than just in inverted commas the aerodynamics like in 22. But it's an interesting point, maybe things have changed, but there does seem to be this nice little back in this period where young drivers are getting the nod again. It's been good. It's been a good year for the driver market, and I'm looking forward to 25. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kimi Antonelli can do, what Ollie Behrman can do full time, potentially Liam Lawson. It sounds like. I think that's going to be great to watch as well. So I think we're looking good. But we've got qualifying for Singapore coming up, so we can talk about 2025 over the winter. But I think we're getting ready for quali now, so let's look towards that. But Scully says Leclerc, pole and Ferrari win tomorrow, ? Yes, please, Scully. I'm not quite sure on Leclerc. He wasn't very happy on the radio in FP3. Again, not a representative session, really. So we'll see what happens when it's a little bit cooler, not much, a little bit cooler, and a bit more representative in quali. He was very quick yesterday afternoon. So was Lando Norris. I think it's between him and Leclerc for pole, Norris and Leclerc for pole. If he finds his form again, or finds his pace again after this morning. But I'm not confident on Red Bull being in the mix too much. In fact, on the poll, let's see what you guys are saying. Who's going to get pole? You've actually put Red Bull lowest on 4%. 59% think McLaren will get pole. 27% Ferrari. 4% Red Bull. 9% think Mercedes. I think this is Ferrari versus McLaren. Norris versus Leclerc, realistically speaking. And Verstappen much better this afternoon or this morning, but he was also much better in FP3 or FP2, was it? One of them last year where he ended up 4th or 5th and then qualified way down the field in 9th. So take those ties from this morning with a pinch of salt is, I guess, what I'm saying. C64 says Audi coming in, Renault bailing out. We'll see. I think there was an update on Renault, which I've not quite read yet. I did see an article earlier, which I didn't get a chance to read, so I'll have a look at that before tomorrow, that Renault are assessing options. So we'll see what happens there. If you have to bet Behrman or Colapinto, who has more points after the season, I don't believe in Williams' ability to take Colapinto as low-end point scorer through the rest of the season, says RZ. What's Colapinto on now? Because Behrman's on, unless Kevin Magnussen really does go absolutely crackers in the final 7 race and just starts slamming it into everybody and picking up a load of penalty points for another ban, we're unlikely to see Behrman again. He's on 7, Colapinto's on 4. I can honestly see Franco Colapinto picking up another 4 points before the end of the season. If that Williams, it's good here. It was good in Baku. Austin, not sure. Could be quite good. Mexico with the long straight is quite slippery. I can see him picking up 4 points between now and the end of the season. So I'm going to go with Colapinto to maybe 1 or 2 points more than Behrman, which I think will be a pretty good return for the second half of the season. But yeah, it's quite. What we've got 7 left, something like that. I can't remember now. It's 7 left, let's say, around there. I think he's got a chance of 3 or 4 more points. So if they're not tied, I think Colapinto will just pinch it. But it's that's based on the here and now. He might have a shocker in Austin and a terrible race in Mexico and be awful in Brazil. So we'll see. But as of now, I would swing towards Colapinto on that one. Is there a chance of rain tomorrow? As a Hamilton fan, says Kiefer. Keep clutching, mate. Keep clutching. I've been there with Ferrari for so many years. I know it's like, please rain. I'll tell you in a second. So Marina Bay Street Circuit weather. It wasn't supposed to rain, but there are thunderstorms around. It did chuck it down yesterday evening. So race time local is about 8 o'clock, isn't it? So 7%-ish. So not a high chance of rain. I just double check the actual. I think it was at 8 o'clock-ish, wasn't it? For that, yeah, 8 o'clock on the nose, Sean. Well done. Yeah, about 7% chance, but that could fluctuate. There's a lot of thunderstorms around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so maybe they might move forward a bit, but not at the moment. So I hope for your sake it does chuck it down for Lewis Hamilton to maybe get something tomorrow. He's not very happy, is he, this weekend at all, Kiefer? We'll see see how he does this afternoon. A couple more points, and then we'll move on to the watch on screen and see if I can get the track map right for the 3rd stream in a row. Unlikely, but I will try it. Just a heads up as well, tomorrow I will be live after the race as always, but I will be solo tomorrow, unfortunately. So we'll muddle through together. So if you are going to be here tomorrow, get your own notes from the race, and you can come and you can have a chat and Sean race reaction, and you can help me through the bits that I inevitably miss. So there we go. Oh God, the RB, the denim. Don't C64. Don't. Good God. It's not as bad as I thought on track, but the renders and the pictures I saw on Wednesday, I could have cried for them, frankly. It's just so stupid. I couldn't have been any more sarcastic in that preview, I don't think, on the news, but it's on paint and whatnot. So, Sainz is my dark horse for today. Says CPB1. He got pole last year and he'll do it again. There we go. Any Ferrari on pole is fine by me, but Ferrari have taken the last 3, actually. So if they get another one, I was going to tell you that's 4, but if you couldn't work that out, then I'd have been concerned for your CPB. But yeah, 3 plus 1 is definitely 4. So they'll be in the mix, definitely. They've won 2 of the last 3 as well, Ferrari. So they'll be in the mix. They will be in the mix today. Absolutely will be. Yeah, and as well, strong form as well. Like Rossi said, they are definitely sort of on the up. Please do subscribe, by the way. We're going to move over to watch on screen in just a moment. Thank you to MD Games for being a member for 7 months in a row. Thank you to Atapol for subscribing. Appreciate that. I always do shout outs for anybody who pops up on my recent events list. If you don't make it on there and I don't shout your name out, it's not that I hate you. It's not that I have ignored you. It's just I haven't seen you, unfortunately. So if you pop up on my recent events list on Streamlabs, I will give you a shout out at stages during the stream if you do subscribe. So please do subscribe and drop a like as well. 34 likes, 348 here for you. Then here for the stream for me, for the stream for Watchalong. So please do drop a like. That'd be massively appreciated, and subscribe. Like I say, lots of shout outs today. These are a bit more community based than anything else, which is why they're nice and waffly. I don't hate you, Ward. I couldn't hate you. Couldn't possibly hate any of you. Just checking nobody is in chat that I do hate, you know. But I joke, of course. Right, so this is the part of the stream, if you are new, where Sean now tries to set up multi-viewer whilst talking and makes it quite obvious that he's terrible at multitasking. So Annette is proud of the British education system because I'm capable of adding 1 to another number and coming up with the correct answer. So I appreciate that, Annette. I did pay attention at school most of the time. I was talking to my dad the other day about this, actually, totally random. I absolutely hated school, like properly hated it. And people say to me, oh, your school years are the best of your life. Nah, absolutely hated school. I'll never do it again, which is probably a good thing because I'm 38 and that would be beyond creepy. But yeah, no, I absolutely hated it. I'm sure lots of you, if you are still at school, love it. And some of you will have loved it when you were there, but it just wasn't for me. I much preferred... No, let's be good. I much preferred staying in school and always being there without fail, never taking any time off and never skiving. I was always at school all the time, 100% attendance. You need to learn to lie better, Sean. Let's head over to the watch on screen. We are just a couple of minutes away now from the start. Oh, come on. You've got to give me that. That's bang on. There you go. I got it right. 3rd time in a row. I will start to make some noise now as I reposition so I can see the TV. All the data you see on screen now is provided by the awesome folks over at Multiviewer for F1. If you haven't got it, we're not sponsored, but please do check it out. It really is good. And you're able to customize your streams with as much or as little data as you like. I mean, for the races, I've got the race trace open and all sorts. So absolutely fantastic app. It is completely free to download, but you do need an F1 TV Access or an F1 TV Pro subscription to get all the information you need for the data. But I think in the UK, F1 TV Access is like £2.29 a month. So if you really do use it, and I do, then it's well worth it. Obviously, no footage in the stream for who have we got this week? Which one should we use? That's just Lawson again. It seems apt. No track footage in the stream because it's against the law, son, obviously. Because I don't have £1 billion to pay for the rights, but I will try and keep you updated with everything going on in the session as we go, and that's pretty much all I need to say on disclaimers, so there you go. Sean, with all of these transitions, you should go to a casino. I should, Rossi. Well, that reminds me of me not placing that bloody bet on George Russell in Belgium. I checked it. Apparently, Dre was saying, because he used to work in the bookies, that I would have been, or you do get paid out. The bookies pay out for the podium result. So I would have got about £1,200 return if I'd have betted on George Russell for the win in Belgium, and I chose not to. I backed out like a coward. Stuart says it was the right thing to do. I'm not sure it was the right thing to do. I'm sorry, I'm talking as I turn around to put my drink on there. I've also had a bit of an impulse buy this week, by the way, which I'll tell you about as the stream goes on. They're the wrong headphones, Sean. But we are about to go green. The green bar is on because it's just easy so I don't forget. But we are about to go green. Ocon at the end of the pit lane. Yes, sighted canvas. I like the Merc livery. The McLaren livery... apart from the rear wing being white, the DRS flap on the rear wing being white, I think from the front it doesn't really look any different. We are green. We are go for qualifying in Singapore. We are underway. But yeah, the livery on the McLaren doesn't look all that different to me from the front. I like the Mercedes one, and the RB one is just whatever. It is. Cool in the gang are in the garage at Red Bull. There you go. Maybe they'll be able to celebrate good times with Max Verstappen. I'm just going to leave. Shall I just go? I'll just go now. Yeah, bye. I won't really. I'll stay for now, but no more Cool in the Gang jokes, please. I'm just hoping now Cool in the Gang were the ones that sang Celebration. I often get mixed up in my head between Casey and the Sunshine. Let's not even go there. Q1 is underway. Who had Cool in the Gang on their Singapore Grand Prix bingo list? Because you're better than me. See what Colapinto gets up. So I'm just going to refresh the preview screen as well for me, because I don't know how far behind you are in chat. We've got cars out on track. Leclerc's out there. Sainz, we've got the 2 Saubers, the 2 Alpines. Perez is out there as well. So we'll see what they can do as they get their tyres up to temperature, ready for their lap. A few drivers trying multiple warm-up laps this morning that didn't really work out too well. So this is, by the way, the soft tyre is a 1-lap tyre. Somebody might stick it on with a couple of laps to go tomorrow for a fastest lap. But it's definitely a 1-lap tyre. So tomorrow I expect hards and mediums pretty much across the board in some order. Maybe somebody will try and do what Zhou did last year, actually. Was it Zhou? Started on the softs, did 2 laps, and then put the hards on and just went for it, kept going from there. So that might be an idea. We'll find out tomorrow. We're on qualifying, Sean. Saw May's Merc and Clarkson's Alpha, but no Ollie, says Nick. Talking to Rossi. I don't know why I said that. I don't know. I'm just taking people's comments completely out of context. There you go. Keith says the only reason I'm a Hamilton fan is because Vettel and Raikkonen are not on the grid anymore. I miss Seb, you know. I miss Seb. Yeah, so the McLaren on track. We're watching Lando Norris at the minute on Sky. See what's going on there. Would like to see what's happening, because I think the Alpines have now started their lap. So I sort of get why they like to keep an eye on the leader. But I kind of feel like I need to be watching the person that's doing a lap. But here we go. Here goes Leclerc then. We are going to focus on him. Through turn 1 and turn 2. Really nice sequence of corners, actually. I quite enjoy that at Singapore. Giving us some action over the years. Some controversial moments as well. Sorry to mention Singapore and controversy in the same sentence. I know it's a rarity. I will not let it go. So tough. Leclerc through the first sector, then 27 flat basically. Good first sector. 27.4 for Gasly, 27.4 for Ocon, 27.5 for Bottas, 27.6, nearly 27.7 for Zhou Guan Yu. Getting busy out there now, actually. Just trying to work out if anyone's... It's not really a point of a toe here. Is there maybe down... Is it Raffles Boulevard? 5 to 7, but not really worth it on a street track, is it, taking that risk? Better to have the clear air. Leclerc, has he got the gyro cam on this weekend? It looks like it, so this is a bit... unless it could just be my eyes being weird, but there you go. It looks like there's something different on that car. So here he comes then, up to the middle sector. What's he going to do through there? It's a 38-2. He's already done that sector. Oh, am I behind on the timing? Hang on a second. Gasly crosses the line. No, we're all right. We are right. It's me missing the sector time. That's all. Just double checking that. We are good. Excuse the purple. But Leclerc is purple and purple. You'd expect that, given the lap times on the board. Over the line he goes, 30.896. He goes faster than Ocon, 1.7 seconds quicker. Perez will be next across the line. Then we've got Sainz, Albon, Colapinto will be there as well. So here comes Perez, purple in the first sector, by the way, for Norris. Perez crosses the line, a 31.5. That's quite a gap. They're new tyres? Yeah, no, that's 7/10 behind Leclerc. This is, yeah. Here's Norris. Who's next across the line? It'll be Carlos. No, Carlos Sainz is... Yeah, where's Norris? There he is. Yeah, Norris. Sorry, I've got so confused the track map just looks upside down to me for some reason. I don't know why, but it's not. Sainz will be next one to get a lap in. He's coming through 17 now, then 18 and 19, obviously, to finish his lap. Norris goes purple in the middle sector, a tenth and a half quicker than Charles Leclerc. Over the line goes Sainz, up into, I say up, he moves into 7th place, 2 minute and 3.928. You might want to go again, Carlos. What have we missed there? Has he made a mistake, or is he on a double warm-up? We'll have a look in a minute, I'm sure. Norris is about to go fastest unless he makes a mistake here. Through the final corner, 30.8 to beat, and it's a 30.7, so just over a tenth and a half between Norris and Leclerc. Yeah, I let me readjust this. Hang on a minute. Let me just, yeah, there we go. That's better. Sorry, I had things in the wrong order. I was looking in the wrong place. I usually have them the other way around. It doesn't matter, I know, but it confuses me when I move screens around. But there we go. Sorted now. Carlos Sainz then. What did he do? Is it down into turn 1? We're going to see a replay here. Yeah, bit of a snap in turn 1. Cuts turn 2. Doesn't return to the right of the bollard, but might be in a tight angle to do that on, but he has rejoined, and that's why he was slow. So he will be going again. We'll see what he can do. He is going again. He is obviously improving. Personal best first sector, 27.2. 4 tenths slower than Norris, and a couple of tenths down his teammate already, but he is purple in the middle sector. So that's something here for Carlos Sainz. See what can See what he can do with the rest of this lap. Albon and Colapinto, keep an eye on those two today. They've been pretty rapid. Colapinto's been close to Albon as well, so hopefully he'll be in the mix for a Q3 appearance, maybe. I think you're looking at Haas, RB, and Williams as the next team, really, the fifth team there. As Sainz improves to fourth at 1:30.9 and lets Russell go so he can start his lap. Here comes Albon over the line, 31.3, goes fifth. And what can Colapinto do? He's just a few seconds behind, coming through 18, nicely through there, and then through 19, and it's a 32.5. So what is he there? He's a good 8 tenths. So no, he's 1.2 slower than his teammate there. That's quite a gap. Unless I'm reading 32.5. Yeah, that's 1 point. That's quite a big gap there for some reason for Colapinto. So keep an eye on that one. Obviously, as I mentioned there, Carlos Sainz has been noted for failing to follow race directors' instructions on the escape road of turn 1 and 2. I did say that they might have pulled him up on that one, but yeah, we'll see if they decide to do anything on that one. They might let it go. I'd be surprised if he does get any kind of sporting penalty, but we'll see what happens. Who's next to do a lap? We've got the two Mercedes out there. Hamilton, obviously personal best, and Russell as well. They've not set a lap yet, so they will be. Perez improved in the first sector, but slower in the middle sector. So we're just trying to keep an eye here on the two Mercedes, but we've also got others out there as well. So Hamilton's going to complete his lap. He's going to cross the line now and jumps up into fifth place on a 1:31.5. Hulkenberg and Magnussen are out there as well now. Stroll is 2. Ricciardo and Tsunoda as well. The track's nice and full, but they all seem to be well spaced out. Russell goes 7th on a 1:31.4. 7 tenths off the fastest time and a few hundredths off his teammate. Could be traffic for Colapinto. In fact, we're going to get a replay now. Sighted canvas. It's more than traffic. He got very, very wide through what is now. This is what's confused me as well. The 16 and 17 chicane. Big snap on the way in there. And that would have cost him time. And does he brush the wall as well? Oh, he does. He just clunks the wall with his right rear as well on the exit of 17. So that's where he's lost some time. So I imagine he will he cool down and go again, or does he put on some fresh tyres? Plenty of time. Still 9 minutes to go. Yeah, completely missed the apex, didn't they? Completely. So it's... Donnie says, watching this in Singapore now. Wow, Donnie, hope you're having a great weekend. Is it humid there? We did say we'd look at that, didn't we? 79% humidity, 32.3% track temperature, 29.6% air temperature, 29.6 degrees, air temperature, or as Sean would describe that, hell. So yeah, hope you're having a good weekend, Donnie. Always good to get to an F1 race, so enjoy the noise and everything that goes on with it. As Verstappen moves up into second place, only, a tenth and a half, just under, off Norris, so that's better than he has been at times this weekend, but there's still a lot of time out there to find. A 1:30.7 is not a massively quick time. It's the quickest at the moment, though. Hulkenberg moves into fifth place on a 1:30.9. Charles Leclerc, a little bit quicker, but not purple in the middle sector. 10 thousandths of a second, 100th of a second, whatever you want to call it. just quicker than Norris through there. So there is still pace in that Ferrari. So maybe it was the track conditions this morning. Did they go... Yeah, maybe. Because he's definitely quick. He's still pacey. He's going to improve here. So this is his second run on the same tyre. It must be. Over the line he goes and does go second on 130.786. So that's much closer. So there we go. Ferrari are in this, and Red Bull closer than I thought, but it is only Q1, and we saw Norris in the 29s, I think, this morning. So I'd be surprised if we're not much lower than that. Track evolution, absolutely, is a huge factor. Especially, Singapore anyway, track evolution is high, but you've also got to consider the massive rain shower we had yesterday that's washed all that rubber away. The track's going to keep rubbering in. It could be, when it comes to the battle for getting into Q2 and Q3, it could be last across the line that makes a difference there. So they're the best quali sessions for me. Donny says humid outside, I can imagine. Yeah. Enjoy it, though. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's the most important thing. If you've never been to an F1 race, by the way, anybody listening, it's more than just the track action at most events. Lots going on. It's quite a festival atmosphere, actually. As Verstappen, big snap as he comes onto the straighter turn between turn 9 and 10, I think, on the run to the new, I still call it the new Singapore sling. I want to call it the rubbish Singapore sling. I much preferred the other one. That stupid little chicane thing that was there. Yeah, Leclerc a little bit twitchy as well at the hairpin. But still a good lap. It's nice and close in there. But again, that time's going to come down. Yeah, absolutely. James says, and Leclerc a few wobbles in the middle of sector 2, so more to come from him. Absolutely. This is going to be good fun, I think. I think it's going to be fun. Who's still out there? So I think a lot of cars now are going to come in as the camera focuses on Ollie Behrman, of course. Haas driver next season. Scored points last weekend as well. Scored a point last weekend. So that's a 100% point scoring record for Ollie Behrman in F1. Not bad. Can he keep that up next year? Probably not, but you never know. Pengo says it's usually festival-like, but the music lineup's awful this year. I've not seen the music lineup for Singapore, but I can't imagine it was worse than the last time I went to Silverstone. We had Mel C. Mardy Mel C. Oh, she was so grumpy. What year was that? Would have been... It's been a long time since it's been, actually. It's been about 2019, I'd have thought. Somewhere around there. She was really arsey for some reason. Anyway... We're not going to start the Mel C bashing. I won't have it. It wasn't great. But yeah. Checo is 14th. Yeah, good spot from side to canvas. I didn't even watch what he was doing there. So a track he's been strong at in the past, but struggled at last year, as Red Bull did generally. But 14th place. Here we go. Albon then. Is he going for another lap? He is indeed. Is it a fresh set for Albon? Let me know, chat. I think so. It says on the graphic that it is still fresh set. There's no line through there, so this must be a fresh set for Albon. We've only got Albon and the two McLarens out there at the moment. So Norris and Piastri, I assume, will they go again? Yeah, on the used tyres for Norris and Piastri, so they're not on a waste set. See what Albon does on the fresh tyres then as he comes through the first sector. Now a 26.8. It is an improvement. Only 100th of a second down actually on Norris. So really good first sector there from Alex Albon. But again, there's going to be so much time to find out there. What are we watching a replay of Hamilton of down into turn 1 picture in picture. Just slow and went straight across the corner. And did he rejoin to the correct side of the bollard? Looks like he tried to. So see what the stewards say on that one. But I assume he did. We've not got that far yet in the replay, but no, didn't show us. So Alex Albon then. So 105.115 overall in the middle sector from Norris, but he's actually looking for a 38.2. I don't think he'll be threatening a 38.2 in the middle sector. Famous last words, you never know. I'm going to shut my damn face. Alex Albon's just done a 38.0. Yeah, wow. Commentator's curse. Thanks, Albon, for shutting me up. Yeah, purple first sector for Norris as well, so the track just keeps improving. So Albon with a good lap here, though, as Norris goes purple in the middle sector, half a second quicker than his own time. So suddenly Albon, not quite as impressive, but it's still good for him. Over the line and goes fastest on a 130.679. Great stuff from Alex Albon, but that's about to be absolutely destroyed by one Lando Norris in his McLaren as he comes up to turn 18. Flicks it left and then plants it through 19. Nicely on the curb and does a 1:35.5. flat. Just under 7/10 quicker than Albon. That's a hell of a lap there from Norris. But again, that's not as quick as he went this morning, so that's going to come down even more. But yeah, good stuff from Albon. Getting first place there briefly. He's now down to third as Piastri improves to a 30.258, 2.5 tenths off his teammates. Yeah. There you go. I'm just watching you in chat. I don't know if you're just doing that for a laugh or whether I did say second, which I may have done. I may have said first as well. Who knows with my mouth? My mouth moves quicker than my brain does, so you might have noticed over the years. It's a good lap. It's a really good lap from Albon. We'll see what happens here in third. We're not doing this. We're not making that a thing, sighted canvas. We're not doing it. I refuse, as he just does it 3 times. Hamilton, through the first sector, a 10.5 down on Norris and not improving on his own time with 2 minutes to go. Hamilton is down in 12th. So at the moment, we are losing Gasly, Bottas, Joe, Colapinto, and Stroll. I hope for Stroll's sake he qualifies higher than 20th. It doesn't get done by the Saubers. Russell's improving. Perez is improving. Both need to. 13th for Russell and 14th for Perez. Alonso coming through to start another lap, as is Magnussen. Hulkenberg 6th and Magnussen 10th. That's what I was looking for, where the Haas guys are. So that's not good. It could have been me, Rossi. I don't know. I'm sure might just be sighted canvas doing sighted canvas things, which is fine. Here we go then. Norris, Colapinto are coming through the final phase of the lap, but I assume they might go for one more run. Colapinto will. Norris won't. Norris is pitting, I think. Hamilton's going to come around the final corner. He's indeed. So Norris is done for this session. Coming up to a minute to go. Hamilton moves up to third place. 130.3. Much better second and third sectors there for Hamilton than the first sector was looking. Albon down to fourth. Russell only 6th, but he should be through from there. I've just jinxed Albon, though, so maybe that won't be. Perez jumps into fourth place, 130.6. Much better there. What can Max Verstappen do? Green in the first sector, green in the second sector, through the final corner. Some time on the table there, but goes up to second place on a 130.157, a 10.5 off again from Norris, but I think he's got more speed in that final corner. I didn't use all the curb there. What's Ricciardo going to do? Could do with a lap here, could Danny Rick. 12th place, 131.0. Oh, tight. And then again, it cuts to Liam Law. I know Danny Ricciardo won't watch the TV coverage, but I do feel for him a little bit that we just always cut to my man Liam Lawson when he does anything. Daniel Ricciardo sets a lap, cut to Liam Lawson. Daniel Ricciardo eats his dinner, cut to Liam Lawson. Daniel Ricciardo farts, cut to Liam Lawson. It's weird. Magnussen looks 10th place, 130.8. I don't think Ricciardo's safe here completely. I think his saving grace might be. No, Ocon. So, yes, so Tsunoda moves up to 8th place. Ricciardo down to 14th. Russell says, no flipping grip, mate. There you go. Totally different to FP3. What's Colapinto going to do? Needs a lap here. Does improve. 130.7 into 8th place. Ricciardo now on the bubble. Ocon is improving. Stroll is improving. Zhou is improving. I didn't mean that's quite as surprised as it fell out of my mouth there. I do apologise. Zhou's improving. I'm not having it. 6/10 down though on Ricciardo, so I don't think Zhou's going to get through unless he pulls out the final sector of his life. Ocon, Gasly, and Stroll are the threat here, I think. Stroll only goes 16th, so he's not through, so that's saved Ricciardo. What can Ocon do? Through the final corner, Ocon does knock Daniel Ricciardo out, but there might be a little bit of squeaky bum time here for Carlos Sainz. Is Sainz on a lap? He is, so he's improving a little bit, but he is currently on the bubble. Bottas goes 18th. Zhou hasn't improved. It's Gasly the big question. Gasly is going to go 18th, so Sainz is safe, and Sainz can pit now if he needs to. So we have lost, unless Danny Rick's on something. Sainz improves to 6th, by the way. Ricciardo's not improving, so we have lost, I believe. The checkered flag is out. Keep on top of this, Sean. Move your stream deck. There we go. That'll help you. Yeah, we've lost Ricciardo, Stroll, Gasly, Bottas, and Zhou. Any surprises in there? So I'm just looking at now quickly. We'll go through the order in a second. Ricciardo, Tsunoda's up in 10th, so maybe you could put Ricciardo in there as a there's more pace in that car, surprise. But yeah, Stroll, maybe, not really. Gasly, not really, no. None of those have stunned me like Norris did last weekend, for example. So Ocon scrapes through. So Lando Norris was fastest in that session, 1:30 flat, 1.5 tenths clear of Max Verstappen in second. Oscar Piastri, a quarter of a second of his teammate in third, with Lewis Hamilton in fourth and Sergio Perez fifth. 4 tenths cover the top 4, 6th cover the top 5. Sainz and Albon 6th and 7th, Alonso in 8th. Nothing between those three at all, really. Colapinto in 9th, 7 tenths off the pace. Tsunoda just a few thousandths of a second behind in 10th. Nico Hulkenberg 11th, with Leclerc only 12th. 13th for Russell, 14th Magnussen, 15th Ocon, a second separating the top 15, only just over a second separating the top 16. Ricciardo, though, is out. Stroll is out. Gasly out. Bottas out. And Zhou out. There you have it. There's your first session is done. Thank you very much to Celine Yat, to Harish Kumar, to Eric Lee, to W. Jones Collectibles, and to Carol Tang for subscribing. Really appreciate your support. Thank you for joining me on my F1 YouTubing journey thing. Please do subscribe if you're new. Like I said, I'll give you shout outs at the end of each session to anyone who appears on the feed, and please do drop a like as well. 900 here, 63 likes. Come on, we've got to get that nearer 200. I'm sure we can. Don't get no money for that. That just helps the channel in the algorithm because, you know, YouTube things. And of course, it's free as well. So please do subscribe for a shout out, and don't forget as well to drop a like so that the channel gets some sort of boost in this stupid YouTube algorithm driven world that I live in. It's crackers. But yeah, Norris fastest is the headline there. We lost Ricciardo, Stroll, Gasly, Bottas, Zhou. I was gonna say not what Ricciardo needed to be sort of 4 tenths off his teammate and out in Q1. But if you listen to the rumours, it's pretty irrelevant what happens this weekend, I think. So that's a view. That's not official, obviously, but yes. And last, of course, Sauber, Bottas, 1.5 seconds off the pace. Again, Zhou half a second off his teammate. That's a big gap to your teammate. Yes, the car's cack, let's be honest, but, you know, even if you've got a terrible car and you're always sort of bottom 2, you've still got to try and beat your teammate. You've still got to. I'll try not to kick Daniel. I absolutely don't want to kick him, but I think the team might. I'm not sure what happened after that, but I'll make the point again. He's mid-30s and in a junior team, so... I think he said himself, Red Bull or nothing for next year, and I don't think Red Bull's going to happen. I guess it depends what Perez does between now and the end of the year, but Perez was 5th, so not too bad. Still good 4 tenths of his teammate, but that, 4 or 5 tenths of his teammate. It's a hefty gap. Yes, it's that awkward bit, Farron, between the qualifying sessions where Sean has to talk nonsense for 5 minutes, which is essentially how I've made a career out of this. So, I mean, it if it works. Let's have a look at the season stats then. I didn't update last week, so no, we won't. We'll forget that then. I didn't update last week's quali stats, so irrelevant. But yeah, I think Bottas is 17-1 or something like that up on Joe Pascal. He is, so I didn't update him last weekend. So who do you think had the better F1 Sauber Alfa Romeo driver between Gio, Ericsson and Zhou? See, 2 things to make out of that. First of all, I have to say Marcus Ericsson, because that's like the rule on the channel. He was our meme for a long time before Stoffel Van Dorn came along. So I think Marcus Ericsson was massively underrated as a driver. Not unless it didn't really work in F1 as well as it could have done, but he's an Indy 500 winner now. So during their time there, I'd probably say, you could say Gio, if we're looking at that fairly. I mean, the other point I was going to make is the stat here. Antonio Giovinazzi has led more laps at the Singapore Grand Prix than Max Verstappen, apparently. So you could put it that way. It's got to be Giovinazzi or Giovinazzi. But yeah, I wouldn't put Zhou in there. I've got to go Ericsson for the law of the channel. But I'd be inclined to say Gio if I wasn't doing that. So Indy 500 winner Marcus Ericsson. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All the memes around Marcus Ericsson on this channel and the comments made from people, and he goes off and wins Indy 500. I mean, would you rather? That's an interesting question, I suppose. The session is about to go green. In fact, the session has just gone green. There we go. I guess there's an argument. Would you prefer to drive around in a Sauber in Formula One at the back somewhere, or would you would rather win the Indy 500? I mean, yeah. The meme drivers, Sean's dream lineup is Van Dorn and Ericsson. It's quite funny, Rossi, actually. I bought a Michael Schumacher 1992 Belgian Grand Prix 1-2 scale helmet, and a Max Verstappen one as well from 2023. So I've got those two, and the Senna helmet I already had next to each other, and then I've got this Stoffel Van Dorn helmet next to them, and it's just sort of like Schumacher, Senna, Verstappen, and Van Dorn. No one's ever put them four together in a conversation, have they? There you go. What can I say? He's a legend, Stoffel Van Dorn, and absolutely is on par with every single one of those. Not really. 14 minutes to go in Q2. We've got some cars on track. Perez, Verstappen, Albon, Colapinto, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Norris just heading out as well. People queuing at the line. Absolutely, Rossi. The top four drivers of all time. Yes, absolutely agree. Oscar Piastri also coming out now. So they're starting to join. They seem to be getting... I know Verstappen just complaining on the radio about traffic there, but sort of looking at the track map, they seem to be doing quite well at just spacing people. That's all about to change when Perez comes around 19 and gets stuck behind an Aston Martin, isn't it? But it just looks like they've sort of got that right today. Somewhere like Monaco, it's a nightmare, but there are some good spaces to let people go here. The run between 5 and 7, for example, 14 and 16. It's not too bad for traffic, really. Look forward to pole being decided by someone getting a penalty because of impeding. So here comes Sergio Perez then through turn 2. Clunk on the curb there on the exit, but might have been the camera angle. His fastest time was a 6:26, apparently. That's not right. Let's see what he does through this first sector then. So the fastest first sector so far today is a 26.735 from Lando Norris. What can he do here? He does go purple. Unsurprising because he's first one to go for a lap here. But it was a 26.8. So it's a bit slower than Norris was this morning. If you're not complaining, you're not an F1 driver, says Michael. You've been here before. we love a complaining F1 driver. Max Verstappen, 26.7 in the first sector. He's fastest at the moment. On a par-ish with what Lando Norris did earlier. A little bit quicker, not massively, 100th of a second. So that's a good start to the lap. But I still think we're looking at 29s for a pole lap today. I mean, a 30 flat from Norris in Q1, surely. Got to be. Low 29s is maybe a bit of a push, do we think? Maybe mid 29s for pole. 29.4, 29.6, 29.5, somewhere in there. That is mid, Sean. Well done for explaining what mid is. Max Verstappen is going to go fastest here, but Perez will be first across the line. So he will top the session ever so briefly. 1:30.653. That's not epic from Sergio Perez at all. Max Verstappen is quicker and quicker through the first two sectors. Just coming up to turn 18 and 19 now. Flicks it in nicely. Whoa, big twitch and very wide. That's going to get deleted. It was a 30.3, but he lost it. He just lost the car through sort of the exit of turn 18. Big twitch and then wide at turn 19, which is could have been a lot worse. So that lap time won't stand. That will be deleted, even though he quite clearly lost time. The rule is the white line defies the track. So that will be a time deletion. So a bit of pressure on Verstappen now. Norris is purple in the first sector. Why does every time Verstappen complain, he gets called Christappen, but when Russell complains, no one says anything? I think, well... Yeah, as RZ just said there, because people just don't like Verstappen. It's the same with Hamilton. Hamilton says, I'm not happy. And people are like, he's moaning, he's whinging. But then, Albon says, I'm not happy. And everyone goes, bless him. It's just that it's successful drivers are always, same in any sport, success breeds hate for some reason, but not from me when it comes to Verstappen. Norris, 1:30 flat. Is that exactly the same time as Q1? I think that is, isn't it? I might be wrong. He might have been a little bit quicker than that, but I think that's about the same. Which is interesting. So there we go. Anyway, so 1:30 flat for Norris over the line. 1:30.2 for Leclerc into second. Hulkenberg's up to third place, by the way. 3/10, nearly 4/10 off the fastest time. Piastri moves into third now. 3/10 off Norris. So Norris at the moment, probably favourite for pole. What we're doing with the tyres? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. See? What a moaner. Never stops whinging. Does Alex Alpine. Verstappen's in the pits. I want to see a replay of Verstappen's mistake. Are we going to watch Verstappen's? No, we're watching. Oh, Verstappen clunks the wall as well at one stage in that lap. So, really pushing that car. So he comes through 18. Yeah, just a bit of a swapper. And then he's gone wide on the curb. It's that's nicely held, actually. Yeah, so yeah, that lap time's gone. Nothing more dramatic than that, but frustrating. It just puts a bit of pressure on him now. He's got to deliver the next lap. Oh, Lando Norris really sideways on his lap as well. So where's that? Is that turn 5? Maybe? I think it is. Yeah, a real sideways moment there. So got his lap in, though. Nick Surface's Hulk turned into Schumacher all of a sudden. Yeah. Prime Schumacher. Nico Hulkenberg is on it. He's done a great job this year as Hulkenberg, I think. The Haas has made a big step forward, of course it has, but I think he's delivered in that car really, really well this year, and I'm not at all surprised that somebody snapped him up. And I'm kind of glad he's got a factory drive, actually. I know he sort of had that at Renault, didn't he? Or he did have that at Renault, but nice to see him back in a works team, if you like, a manufacturer, with Audi taking on the Sauber reins from 26. So good stuff from Hulkenberg. Hamilton and Russell then, they are going to set their laps. It seems to be sort of slightly out of sync, Mercedes, this weekend with their qualifying run plan, which hopefully will work out for them. They know what they're doing. They're smarter than me on these things. He is 7/10 down. He's 7/10 quicker than Albon, which is a time he needs to get out of Q2 and into Q3. Half a second, nearly 6/10 for Russell as well. I'd rather see their times relative to Norris and co, though, to be honest. 26.5 for Norris, 26.7 for Hamilton, and 26.8 for Russell. Yeah, so Hamilton's actually gone fastest on a 1:29.9. Only purple in the final sector, so that's a consistent lap, let's say. And Russell goes third, 1:30.1. Still early days, 7 minutes to go in Q2. Still got Q3 to come. Oh, Mercedes just a slight threat here. Maybe. I still think Norris favourite for pole, but they might have just put themselves in the mix. So that's a bit of a surprise there. I wasn't expecting that from Hamilton. 2/10 slower in the first sector, a 10th down in the middle sector, and then kind of matches. No, he doesn't at all. He was a 10th quicker in the third sector. So interesting. There you go. He's fastest. Why is everyone sliding this weekend? It's new surface in places. The rain will have washed some of the rubber away. It's a bit of a slippery track anyway. As the weekend goes on, it's got a rubber in. So they're pushing hard as well. Yeah, they're my answers. There's a dude on the interweb that really hates Russell. Every time he makes a video, he calls him Osama bin Russell. Hilarious, says Cited Canvas. I don't know who that dude is. Unless they are called dude on the interweb, in which case that's a great name. Weird. I just call him Mr. Spatial Awareness. It's, of all the things George Russell's ever said, it's that line that has, for his whole career, that line has annoyed me more than anything. It just, I don't know why. It just really did. I'm sort of, he said something about 3 or 4 drivers on the grid lack spatial awareness, and I'm sort of like, and yeah, and I think one of them might be you, George, at times, but I don't know. Drivers are hypocrites left, right, and centre in their statements, aren't they? But it really put my back up, that one. Nothing against him. I'm sure he's lovely. Never met him, probably never will. But yeah. He's got time. I'm really intrigued by Mercedes next year, to be honest. Russell versus Antonelli. What's going to happen there? Are they still flirting with Verstappen for 26? What does that mean? Really interesting going to be at Mercedes next year. Hamilton and Leclerc at Ferrari, fascinating. Lots. Albon and Sainz at Williams, fascinating. I'm really looking forward to next season. Piastri Norris dynamic, how does that evolve from this season into next year? It's going to be great. Right then, I just take a breath. I just have a quick drink. Here goes Verstappen then. 4.5 minutes to go, of course. If you're just tuning in, made a little mistake, or quite a hefty mistake actually, on his first run, and was wide at the final corner after a bit of a twitch through 18 and 19. So a bit of pressure on here to get this lap in. We'll have time to cool down and go again, but these are very much largely one-lap tyres. You can maybe nurse them to within an inch of their life on another cool-down lap, but really need to get it done now. He's just coming now through turn 9. Nicely through there. Was that where he hit the wall last time? But he didn't hit it this time. It was close enough. Comes in now to turn 10, the crap Singapore sling, into 11 and 12. This awful part to draw on a track map if you ever do a preview, by the way. Through onto over the bridge, turn 13. DRS will open now. And then he's got a nice flat-out run to turn 14. Then the newer part of the track, 15 through to 16. I've got a feeling, by the way, as a side note on this, I suspect we may keep this layout if it produces overtaking with that extra DRS. Then I don't see the point in bringing in that other twisty bit. Some people say it's removed an overtaking spot, but I'm not convinced we saw much overtaking down there. Perez and Sirotkin 1 year aside, that was chaos. But Verstappen goes fastest on a 1:29.6 or nearly 1:29.7. So Verstappen, Hamilton the fastest too. Then it's Norris, Russell, Leclerc, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Sainz, Perez. We've got 9/10 of a second, just shy of a second actually, covering the top 10. Magnussen is 11th. He needs a couple of tenths. Alonso needs a good 3 tenths or more in 12th. Albon needs a good lap as well. So does Colapinto, 13th and 14th, and Ocon in 15th place. So Max is there. Do you know there's a guy called Fernando Alonso? He is also doing quali today. Just like that, we save that for tomorrow's Sighted Canvas, please. The Alonso sarcasm when I inevitably get to him and go, oh, Alonso finished 5th, and I saw nothing of it. It's so weird, so weird. How could you forget Fernando Alonso's a thing? But every race I seem to do it, and I have to go straight to the press release. Farron says, I swear to God, if Williams in Q3 and Max on pole, I take it Farron's not very happy. I still think Norris will get this one. But I also said that Albon will be nowhere near fastest, and he then delivered that lap that put him fastest briefly. So there we go. 2 minutes to go as it flashes up on the TV. The Televisione, but I don't know where that's from. Probably something Sally Phillips. Yes, it's Perez on the bubble at the moment. What's he doing? A couple of tenths quicker than Magnussen. This track will improve. Currently Leclerc purple in the first set. Ocon is improving. I would be surprised if he makes Q3, Esteban Ocon. But you never know. Every now and again someone surprises me. I'm usually wrong in my predictions. If you're new here, get used to that. Sean's terrible predictions. So we're coming up to the minute mark now, and lots of people on track. So we're going to try and keep an eye on the timing screens and the TV at the same time here. So Leclerc purple. Piastri is improving as well in 6th place. So he should jump up. It's only a personal best for Leclerc in the middle sector. Carlos Sainz is improving, as is Alonso. Piastri goes fastest on a 29.640. Esteban Ocon improving as well. See if he can get anywhere near Q3. I'd be surprised. But across the line goes Ocon. I am surprised. 11th place, actually. That's not awful. Very wide at the final corner. Caught out of my corner of my eye there. So I don't know if he's gone too wide. Leclerc will improve. He goes third, 129.747, not a 119. That would be bloody impressive. Hamilton down to fourth, Russell down to sixth. Perez still on the bubble here. Ocon couldn't quite do it. Sainz is going to put his lap in here. Over the line he goes, improves to sixth place on a 130.1. Fernando Alonso will be next, I believe. It could be Hamilton and Russell unless they're starting a lap. I've got lost on who's on their fast laps and who's on their out laps here. But Alonso is going to come through 18, through 19, and moves himself into P9 at 130.450, just behind Hulkenberg here. So Hulkenberg looking good. Tsunoda now on the bubble. Perez into the bottom 5. Albon, Colapinto improving. Magnussen jumps up to 12th place on a 130.6. Ocon down to 13th. These laps from the Williams boys needs to be pretty good. Albon's is pretty good. 10th place. What can Colapinto do? He's coming into the final couple of corners now. 130.4 for Albon. Colapinto, a 130.481, 7 thousandths of a second off Alex Albon. Tsunoda jumps into P8, which knocks the two Williams out. That puts Alonso on the bubble. Perez is out at the moment and is not setting the world alight on his lap. Is he going to get through? Sergio Perez is out in Q2. Perez is gone. Perez is out. There's nothing he can do. What can Hulkenberg do? He's going to come through and improve. Does he? Yes, he does. Moves into 7th place. We have lost Alex Albon, Franco Colapinto, Sergio Perez, Kevin Magnussen, and Esteban Ocon. I feel like I'm almost more surprised at Albon than I am Perez. No offense to Checo, but that is not good from Sergio Perez, down in 13th place. That is... His lap wasn't great on his final lap. It was not great at all. His teammate's second. He's 13th. Checo. Ocon lap time was deleted at turn 11, but that was a pit lap, I think, so he might be okay there. Yeah, Checo's gone. Cracking weekend pre-crash in Baku. Back down to earth with a bump, 13th place in qualifying. You can overtake in Singapore. It's not easy, but you can do it. But I'm quite surprised to see the Williams out as well, to be honest. I am quite surprised at that one. So we'll run through the times. Piastri fastest on a 29.6. Verstappen also on a 29.6. 400ths of a second between them at the front. Leclerc only a 10th back in third. 3/10 off was Hamilton in 4th place. Norris was 5th. Purple first sector for him, though, on his extra lap he was running. Decided to abandon that one. Sainz is 6th and Hulkenberg in a fantastic 7th place. Great lap from him. Half a second off the pace. Russell half a second off as well in 8th place. Tsunoda sneaking through right at the end. 6.5 tenths on the fastest time with a 130.289. Fernando Alonso also getting through into Q3 on a 130.450. 8 tenths off the pace. And then we lost. Oh, it's so close as well. Alex Albon, 24 thousandths of a second off Q3. Colapinto just 7 thousandths further back in the other Williams, so really close there. Sergio Perez, though, hefty chunk away from the fastest lap, 9 tenths, and actually a tenth and a bit away from getting into Q3. Kevin Magnussen 14th, Esteban Ocon in 15th place. That's a shocker. Thank you very much to is it Eunice? Apologies, you know who you are. David Kennedy, Daryl, the best king, Luis Corrado, Amy Alyssa, Relaxing Universe of Music. Thank you very much. Eric Valley, and is it? I'm going to butcher this. I'm so sorry. Is it Qingling Lim? Thank you very much for subscribing. Your support on the channel is massively appreciated. Please do subscribe if you are new to the channel. 1,200 here, by the way. So please do subscribe. I'll do shout outs after Q3 for anyone who does subscribe and later in the stream as well. And please do leave a like too. We've got 1,200 here and 115 likes. Let's get that really high and help the channel in the algorithm. That'd be massively appreciated. It's free and it's good for the algorithm. So thank you very much for your support, and thank you for your likes, everyone that has so far. Please do drop a like. Appreciated. We've got Q3 coming up, the most important session of today. Some would argue, with it being a street track, possibly the most important session of the weekend. I'd still argue the race trumps that just ever so slightly, but it's where the points are scored, of course. What did Albon say on the radio? I can't hear him for some reason, so don't know. Colapinto. It was tight. It was tight. It was very, very close. I think for Colapinto, probably disappointment he didn't make Q3, but to be 7 thousandths off Albon, he's got to be happy with that. Even if they qualify 19th and 20th, if he's just 7 thousandths behind his teammate, he's right in it. What is with the sector times? What do you mean, Slack boy? Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you what it might mean. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they are so those sector times are the last time they went through those sectors. So the best way to do them live for when we're doing the qualifying watch along is that we see the sector times, the latest sector times, because that way we actually get representative data, if that makes sense, rather than having sector times from earlier in the session. But those aren't their best sector times, apart from the purple that Norris did. Those are just the most recent. So they're their in-laps, basically. The lap times are correct. The gap to the leader is correct. The sector times are obviously their in-lap sector times. But as an example, I mean, Piastri, 26.6, 37.7, and 25.2 were his 3 sector times. I haven't got a way of squeezing the other ones on. So if you want to know specific drivers' sector times, let me know in chat, and if I spot it, I'll come back and let you know. But that's what they are. So yeah, don't worry, they're not. We've not suddenly dropped 10 seconds in the first sector. It's okay. Thank you to Lukman Leong as well for subscribing. I've got anybody else coming in while we're doing this. Haduchi Mady, thank you very much. Kanif for subscribing too, so appreciate that. Just want to wait for the next sector. We'll give those shout outs as well. Lance Walker, I'm gonna ignore that, Porter Lily. I was about to read it, but I'm not I'm not getting into that one and getting torn to pieces, but fair enough. I can't see. I'm intrigued by that conversation. I'm not going to read it, but I'm intrigued by that conversation. Yeah. Yes, Checo is out if you are just tuning in, by the way. Sergio Perez gone from... That was a noise. Gone from qualifying again. P13. Which, if Alonso, what's that got to do with it? If Verstappen... Come on, Sean. If Verstappen ends up qualifying 10th place, it's not horrifically bad for Checo, because maybe that is where the pace of the car is, but Verstappen's gone and stuck it second at the moment, and if he qualifies inside the top 3 or 4, then Perez needs to be inside the top 6 or 7, doesn't he, really? And to be behind Colapinto, Albon, Alonso, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg is pretty depressing for Perez, I would say. There was something I was going to say, actually. I think somebody said earlier was it yesterday? Might have been a Marco or somebody. I think they said their pace was around Colapinto, so they needed to work on something. So maybe that's not a shock to Red Bull, but Verstappen pulled a lap out and went P2. So can he replicate that in Q3? I still fancy get your predictions in chat then. One surname, who's getting pole? I still fancy Norris for this one. He's up very, very quick all weekend, so I'm going to go with Norris. But I think this is going to be closer than perhaps FP3 and earlier in qualifying suggested. We are green. Hulkenberg first one on track. So I'm going to go with Norris for pole. Who have you got for pole position? I'm just going to do a quick refresh to the chat, actually. Is in time with me, or as in time as it ever gets on the YouTube. That's what we're going to say. We'll close the poll as well, because you're not going to cheat your voting on that one. That's the sort of thing I'd do. So you went with McLaren 52% for pole, 26 Ferrari, 11 for Red Bull, 9 for Mercedes. Thank you very much for your votes on that poll. But I'm going with Norris. Kiefer's going with Piastri. CB97 says Piastri as well. It is a good fight. Yeah, Piastri pole. Haduchi. Oscar for Gary. Kiefer says for laughs, I'll say Hamilton. Why not? Look, you never know. Go back to his lap in 2018, and I think blew our socks off with how good that lap is. If you've never watched the onboard of that lap, it's that's balls to the wall. That is really, really good. Norris for Yuki. Oscar for Annette. I think Annette, by the way, Annette, very. I think I mentioned this on the Discord server about needing some Piastri merch. I think I'm going to pre-order his mini helmet for Singapore because I really like it. Just to let you know. I'll tell you about my other purchase as well at the end of the session this week, which cost me rent. Haduchi says Russell top 5. I agree with Norris for pole. Says Earth Medicine Africa. Leclerc pole, says Georgia. Rossi's gone with Sainz. Is it Ace has gone with Norris? McLaren on pole today, says Johan. Let's go, Charles. Make it happen, says Franco. As we look at Kimi Antonelli in the Mercedes next year, of course. Let's see. Exactly. Who needs to pay rent? Who cares? We are coming up to the 9-minute mark. Hulkenberg is going to be first to do a lap here, and he has started that lap. And we are watching him, I believe, on the TV, which is nice. Thank you very much, Sky. Appreciate that. Or is he a bit slow? Hulkenberg, is he doing a second warm-up lap? We're not looking at him. That's why. That's not a Haas, Sean. The giveaway there was the papaya. Haas haven't changed their livery. So Piastri and Verstappen are the times we watch on TV. I'll keep an eye on Hulkenberg. He has gone purple, 26.997 in the first sector. That's been beaten by Piastri, does a 26.675. So 0.3 off. Used tyres, by the way, not surprising. Hulkenberg, Tsunoda and Alonso. So they'll go on fresh softs, possibly in the gap later on. Although there isn't much of a gap, is there, at 9 minutes already? Piastri really twitchy through there. Verstappen's gone purple in the first sector on a 26.5. I'm not going to jinx it. I would be very surprised if Max Verstappen took pole. Norris has gone faster now in the middle, in the first sector on a 26.5. I'm quite surprised he's in the mix actually at the moment. I wasn't expecting that today. I'd be very surprised. 37.9, 37.6 for Piastri and Verstappen, respectively, through the middle sector. Norris will be next through there. Hulkenberg goes fastest on a 30.848, first to set a time. Leclerc moves up the order, but he's not doing a lap. Here comes Piastri now, just getting past Sainz. 30.8 to beat, and Piastri does a 30.0. Oh, and that's I think that's Verstappen in the wall. No, it isn't. It's Sainz, sorry. It's not Verstappen. It's Carlos Sainz. That lap... that's a red flag all day long. Carlos Sainz is in the wall. Stop the session. I saw the smoke, and because I was expecting Verstappen through that final corner for his lap, I thought it was Max, but it wasn't. It was Carlos Sainz, who, interestingly enough, was on a outlap. He was just about to start his lap. Verstappen did get over the line on a 29.791, so he has gone fastest. Be interesting to know, if anyone was watching, whether he went through that. It's all going to depend, isn't it, when the yellows came out. Verstappen will have been quite close to the back of Sainz, because he wasn't that far behind Piastri, who had just gone past him and gone through. So it may well be that he's gone past Sainz before the yellows have come out, in which case he should be okay. But of course, if you improve in a sector that was yellow, your lap time is generally deleted. So I'm going to watch Carlos. So he's going to come through here. This is an outlap. So he gets out of Piastri's way. So he's off the racing line. So maybe dirt on his tyres there. Winding up the lap, foot to the floor. Oh, he just loses it. Are there any yellow flags there? No yellows. No yellows. Here comes Verstappen. So this is what we're watching for now. So he's lost it it's a nasty little shunt. I said shunt. I want to know. I want the onboard of Verstappen here because I'm intrigued. Obviously, I don't want Verstappen, and Verstappen's time has been deleted. There we go. So he drops down to third place. So I'd still like to see the onboard. So Verstappen his time has been deleted, so he didn't, so he did go through the yellow, so there we go. He's not safe, as the commentary was saying there. So Piastri and Hulkenberg only ones with a lap time on the board. 8 minutes to go. We have a red flag for Carlos Sainz, who absolutely, will be starting in 10th place tomorrow at best. At best. It all depends what damage has been done to the internals of the back end of that car. He may need a gearbox. He's gone in backwards and quite hard. There may be some changes to some of the power unit components as well. So it'll be interesting to see. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do while we're in this, having this lull. I think, Sean, that is a cracking idea. Let's have a look at what the power units usage thing is for this weekend. Have they done it this time? PU elements. There we go. So Carlos Sainz, just to let you know, not saying he will need changes, but if he does, he's on his 4th ICE turbocharger, MGUH and MGUK. So if any of those are replaced, it will be a penalty. Energy store, control electronics and exhaust 2, 2 and 5. So if he needs an energy store or control electronics, that will be a penalty as well. Exhaust, he'll be fine. I don't know about gearbox though, because they don't have that on the list. So, oh, hang on a minute. That might be it. Just casually go. Yeah, gearbox. So gearbox for Sainz, he's had 4 and 4. So he should be okay if he needs a gearbox. But of course, the rest of the season to go. So even if he doesn't take changes now, he may need them for later in the season. He may still have to take a penalty at some point. But as it stands, that's the situation for Sainz. He may not need a penalty. Jonty just made a good point there. Sainz might be in trouble for crossing the track as well. He did cross a live track, didn't he? So that might get him a ticking off. Does that still apply under red flags? I suppose cars are still on the track, aren't they? So, yeah. So, yeah, Sainz in the wall. Possible gearbox and engine changes. We'll see what happens. We will know by sort of 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, UK time, midday at the latest. It's usually about an hour we get the final grid before the race starts. So, maybe. We'll see. Namatona says, I've never heard of times being deleted if there's yellow flags. Is that a new thing? I think it's a relatively new thing, isn't it? I think it's double waved yellows. Your time gets deleted if you improve through that sector. So I think it's a sensible way of policing it, I think. Because a driver then can sort of, if they see double waved yellows, there's no point in a driver pushing, because just going to watch this as they pull the car away. But yeah, there's no point pushing hard through a yellow flag sector if you know your time's going to be deleted anyway. So it maybe protects the marshals a bit more as well. So it's quite a hefty whack. So Piastri came through. He was a little bit wide at the final corner. It's like, I mean, look, it's a big enough shunt to possibly do some damage, but it doesn't look as hefty from that angle. So here, on board with Verstappen, and let's clear this up. They've deleted the time, so it is, yes, double waved yellows. It is green. It's green on the start-finish line, funnily enough, and then the red flag came out. So yeah, that won't count. So there we go. There is a lift. There is definitely a lift on the onboard there. So they are looking into it, Red Bull. They're not sure why, but I'm fairly sure it's the double waved yellows thing. In fact, it says on the feed I've got here, the race director feed, car 1 time 1:29.791 deleted for double yellow at turn 18. So it is the double yellow thing. So there we go. We are under red flag. So we've already lost Carlos Sainz. He's out of this session now. So one last car to worry about for traffic. He'll start 10th at best. I don't know. I'm just quite surprised he lost it on a. He's not pushing flat out. Well, he is at that point. He's trying to come through his need to start his lap, but he's not like he's just done a whole lap and his tyres are falling away. I'm just wondering, am I being too fair on Sainz? So maybe dirty tyres because he came off line to let Piastri through, caught him out a little bit in that corner, or let me know if you've watched the replays. Let me know what you think in the chat, what you think has happened there. But yeah, Carlos Sainz. Well, I'll tell you what's happened. He's hit the wall. As simple as that, and it's session over for him. But just to confirm, Piastri and Hulkenberg. Piastri was across the line before the accident even happened, so that time will stand. Hulkenberg set his a good half a minute, if not a bit more, before, so he will be okay. Let's do some more shout outs for subs then, and see what we've got going on here. So thank you to Bilal, to Tima, to Richard Green, to Catharsis, to Devil Dog Danny, to Ami Mani, and to Karthik Dazari. if you are new, by the way, and I've just destroyed your name, I'm so sorry. I genuinely don't mean to. I'm British. We're just crap at pronunciation. So I do apologise. But you know who you are. Thank you so much for subscribing. Again, shout outs for subs. Please do drop a like as well. We're nearly at 200 and there's 1,100 of you here. Come on, let's get those over 200. That'd be fantastic. Thank you for your support on this one. We've still got quite a bit to come in this session. 8 whole minutes of on-track action. It doesn't sound like a lot, does it, when you put it that way? 8 minutes. Yeah, weird incident. Sighted Canvas says, cold tyres, dirty air, vicious snap, arse in the wall equals Carlos Sainz. There you go. I really like the summary there, Sighted Canvas. In fact, I think you can start writing all my summaries for accidents because that's perfect. Particularly the arse in the wall bit. Where can I watch live for free, says the Harry Blocks. Can you watch free anywhere in the world anymore? The best way for me to answer that is without. I don't want to sound like I'm being dismissive, and I'm not at all. But the best way to kind of explain that is that, let's say, creative Googling. Do some creative Googling. You'll definitely find something out there. I'm sure. Why are you so quiet? Says Nabia. I didn't realise I was. When I get Larry, I'm peaking, so I thought I was about right actually today. So if I am too quiet, apologies. I'll tweak that before the race reaction tomorrow. But I thought it was okay. Given that's first complaint, I assume I'm okay. But yeah, I'm not the loudest person unless I get on one. Set me off on one. You'll hear me from wherever you are without the microphone. It just depends on what you want to set me off on. Just be careful. Don't wind me up on the wrong thing or I'll be gone. Yeah. I'm sort of half listening to Anthony Davidson, but it's difficult to do when I'm trying to talk to you guys as well. He's just going to show us the yellows now when they come out. So the yellow flag is out before Max Verstappen gets there for sure. I am sat quite close to the mic as well, by the way. That's why you keep hearing it. If you keep hearing a bang, it's me headbutting it or chinning it. So, yeah, the yellow flags are out well before Verstappen, or in good time before Verstappen gets there. So there we go. Time deleted. That's a shame. It was a good lap. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Carlos had the weirdest crash this time, says Yuki. Is Anthony Davidson shrinking? I don't know. Maybe you're just getting taller. I don't know. You know, I don't know how that works, but I've gone with it. We are filling. We are filling for the red flag. I think that the sky pad's higher. The sky pad is higher today. He does look like he's shrunk. Maybe he went on a boil wash or something. I don't know, but he does. Does he lift off Max? He does lift. He definitely lifts. He does definitely lift. I saw Jonty make a point about lifting and safety, which I was going to read. Drivers need to get through their heads that lifting is not sufficient. Double yellow means slow down and be prepared to stop. 3% less throttle isn't going to cut it. There we go. Yeah. I mean, by the letter of the law, you're right, but also he's obliged to lift, and he did lift, didn't he? So, it is, yeah. He says it's late when you see the car. GP says you lifted, so that's fine, basically. But yeah, no, it's not finished yet, Stephen. We've got a red flag because Carlos Sainz crashed at the final corner, so we're just waiting now for the green. The start time. They've just got to do a bit of barrier repair. Nothing too substantial. But yeah, he's in the wall. It's Carlos Sainz. Sorry, I'm just trying to just do a quick refresh there, make sure everything's working. The cores are in the garage. That looks like the FIA garage. So the cores are with the safety car. Yeah. They'll be hoping that somebody doesn't run away with... Oh, just get lost, Sean. Is that even a Cause song? Is Run Away a Cause song? I'm sure it is. It's a cracker if it is. I'm not singing. I'm sure it's sung by the Cause. I might be wrong. Apparently there is one by Kanye West. There you go. The Beautiful, Beautiful Cause. It is a song by the Cause. I have bewitched in my head briefly there. Start time 22:07 local, so in about 3 minutes from now. So we've covered Cool in the Gang. We've covered the Cause. So there we go. Jonty wins. Jonty says, I've tried to stop Sean making bad puns, but what can I do? There you go. Very good. Very, very good. Sorry. We'll stop with the puns. I promise. I was going to say I promise. That's a lie. I'm never going to stop with the puns. Never. I will never do it. Puns are the best. Even terrible puns are the best puns. Love it. So yeah, the session will restart in 2 minutes-ish from now. Just under 2 minutes. So hopefully we will be ready for a cracking final 8 minutes. So again, just a reminder, Piastri and Hulkenberg do have times on the board, so they can wait a little bit to go for second runs. Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Norris, Russell, Tsunoda, Alonso need to get out there and get some laps on the board, or a lap on the board. Sainz is out because he crashed, of course, so we've already lost Alex Albon in 11th, Colapinto 12th, Perez 13th, Magnussen 14th, Ocon 15th, Ricciardo 16th, Stroll 17th, Gasly 18th, Bottas 19th, and Zhou Guan Yu in 20th. There you go. Just caught Perez there saying about something about the rear tyres and not being able to get them in the window, so that could be why he's a bit off the pace there. I say a bit off the pace, he's 13th, but half listen. I am listening to Perez. Sorry if I go quiet. I'm just trying to see if he says anything interesting other than the rear tyres. You can overtake in Singapore from 13th. The trouble he's going to have is the Williams are slippery in a straight line. So the best spot to make your move is between 5 and 7. So that's going to be tricky with that long run. But then assuming everything else stays roughly as it is with those cars in the top 10, Sainz doesn't get a massive penalty. He's got to get through an Aston Martin and an RB, which is probably the easiest task out of those remaining. But then he's got 2 Ferraris to get past, 2 Mercedes to get past, 2 McLarens, and it's going to be tough. So even if he does start 13th and whatever, it's or when he does start 13th, it's whether you can overtake or not, it's still going to be tough, isn't it? You're going to struggle to get past others. I guess the point of making is you're going to struggle to get past others on actual racetracks, aren't you? So we are green. We are indeed. So we can go. Now we wait. I think we're going to get a little lull here. I suspect this is going to be. I was trying to work out times here. 2 minutes for an out lap plus. I think it's going to be one run here for everybody. So this is going to be hectic. I'm trying to... Yeah. I think it'll be one run. I don't know, Pete. I just don't understand that mentality, but the mentality of this internet. I don't understand the mentality of much of the internet most of the time, to be honest. So, I can understand people having favourite drivers and drivers they support. I don't quite understand how you can... I don't know. You can't hate somebody you've never met, but there are plenty of politicians I hate and I've never met them, so I suppose you can, but I'm not quite sure how that stretches to drivers. I'm really not. While we're in this, I'll tell you about my purchase. I bought a 112 scale model of Max Verstappen's 2021 title-winning car. And it's got this little figurine on it that is sort of crouched over the rear wheel, because that's the photo, of course, in the pit board. It's huge, much bigger than I thought, and it cost me an absolute bloody fortune. Not only did it cost me a fortune, Sainz has been noted for crossing the track on foot. Jonty called that one. Not only did it cost me a fortune, just generally, I also got Brexited. I had to pay duty, taxes, and fees of 150 quid. Which was ridiculous. Yeah, so there you go. That was my big purchase. So Schumacher helmet, Verstappen helmet, and then Verstappen's title-winning car from 2021. A big one. I'll take a photo and pop it on socials at some point. I'll send you a picture, John T. It's ridiculously huge. But I had to pay all sorts of that's the point I wanted to make. I had to pay a fortune in duty and all of that. So used to be free that, but now it's 150 quid. It's just to anybody on Discord. We briefly had a chat about this yesterday. It wasn't a weight thing. It was the value of the item, which is why I had to pay the duty. So it wasn't done on weight. It was done on. I was just intrigued. Done on value. So there we go. I'll know next time. Not to buy anything expensive from Europe. You didn't need to know that, but there's literally nothing happening on track. We've got 5 minutes to go. Cars are still all in the garage waiting. So thank you to Aniket, to Melissa, to the Arambo, to Mitchell Clayton, and to Arthit Naknoy for subscribing. Appreciate the support. Please do subscribe if you're new. Lots of content to come. We've got race reaction tomorrow, solo for tomorrow, and winners and losers on Monday. Then there's some content next week as well. There will be videos between this race weekend and the next race weekend, so that's great stuff. 25 likes away from 200. Let's get that to 200. That'd be fantastic. So please do leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I'll do some more shout outs after this session because we have movement in the pit lane. Just to confirm as well, by the way, on the track map, Sainz is still there. He's not still there. The car has been moved. Don't worry. Carlos Sainz's car isn't just sat there for a laugh. Yes, so there we go. Hey, Anushka, good to see you. I hope you're okay today. Apologies again for the confusion, if it did confuse you. For saying I'm not streaming today and then changing my mind, but the plans I have for the afternoon have now moved to the evening, so I was able to stream, so that's good. So let's see how we go now. We are 3 minutes, just under 4 minutes to go. We have cars on track. Here we go. Deep breath. Ted just talked about how everyone wants to be last across the line for the best track conditions, because this is good. This is going to be one run wonders. There we go. I got that first time. Piastri will be first, then it will be Norris, then it will be Hulkenberg. They are heading out on track. Now there was an RB trying to push in the queue. Then we've got Alonso, Leclerc. Who's going to get last? I think Verstappen is actually still yet to pull out the garage, so it might be Verstappen who gets to go last here. We'll see. I'm just going to double check. Or is that Perez in the garage? But yeah. John says, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg front row incoming. You never know. Anybody change their pole position predictions since Verstappen's surprise lap there that got deleted because of the yellows? I still fancy Norris for this, but Piastri's looking pacey as well. So I'm not quite sure about the 29.5 accord for pole though. If you can hear my stomach, by the way, I'm so sorry I didn't have any breakfast. So. Unsafe release Alonso has been noted. If that's in quali, that'll probably reprimand. It is Verstappen will be last across the line here. 2 minutes and 20. There are cars at the end of the pit lane. Yuki said, been reminded you can overtake if teams are playing games. So Verstappen's going to be very much last across the line here. He will get round, but that's probably a little tighter than... Yeah. Red flag may help Piastri. No track evo with no car, says Nick. Fair point. Paul for Norris, says Yuki. Where is Lewis? Says Aisha. Aisha says Lewis is 5th at the minute, just out on track. He is ahead of Russell and well behind Leclerc here on track. So you may need to do some work on the outlap in terms of track position. Verstappen is told. I said that might be a little bit tight, didn't I? 220. He's just got it behind Russell now. So is he going to try and get between the two Mercedes? Piastri just starting his lap now, or he's on his lap. Norris coming through to start his lap now. I'll keep an eye on the sectors. Verstappen's fighting about here with George Russell, so compromising his outlap. So what is he looked very close on that track map. I can't see it on TV. He is very close on the track map. Whether that's wrong, I don't know. They seem to be pretty much on top of each other. Don't let Verstappen through, Russell is told. and Verstappen's gone through at turn 13. So that went well for Russell. Norris is faster than Piastri, but it's only yellow in the first sector. Piastri has improved, so that's interesting. So this could be close here. Piastri might have a shot. He's not had a pole position as Pierre Piastri, I was going to say, as Oscar Piastri. 50 seconds to go. It is going to be one lap a go here. It is technically Piastri's, or it is absolutely Piastri's second lap, of course. He got it in before the red flag. Piastri's 3.5 tenths up at his best time. What is Norris going to do? This is interesting. Very interesting. To the point where I may... Oh, that's a corky middle sector from Lando Norris, though. That may just change that. I may have to sit forward in my seat here. Here comes Oscar Piastri, really throwing it through the final two corners. Goes across the line on a 129.953. We are in the 29s. Here comes Lando Norris, purple in the middle sector. Sean starts to get excited now. What is going to happen? Who's going to get pole position? This is going to be a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. This way goes a second quicker. Over the line goes Norris on a 129.5. That's it. Stop the count. That was my pole guess. 129.5. Norris has just done it. That's a cracking lap from Lando Norris here. Verstappen not improving. Hamilton not improving. Leclerc is improving. What can he do in the middle sector? 104.229 to beat. Nowhere near. 4 tenths down. I think Lando Norris has this for pole position, and sure got his prediction right. As if. Well, Verstappen's not improving. It's not awful from Verstappen, but it's not an improvement. Hamilton 3-4 tenths down in the middle sector. Alonso goes fourth on 130.2. The flag is out, so we are over. Verstappen is a couple of tenths down, or 1.5 tenths down on Norris. Leclerc only goes fourth on a 130.1. Here come the Mercedes, or the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Sparks fly as he comes through the final couple of corners. Over the line he goes on a 129.841 with a purple final sector. That's a good lap from Hamilton into second place. What can Max Verstappen do? He's the one we're watching. I don't think it's enough for pole position. It isn't, but he just joined him on the front row. 29.728. What is George Russell going to do? He's coming through. Yuki Tsunoda improving. It is fourth for Russell, seventh now for Alonso. Leclerc has dropped. Did Leclerc get a lap time deleted? I don't know. Tsunoda goes eighth. Leclerc's lap time was deleted. Lando Norris on pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix, joined on the front row by Max Verstappen. I would never have picked Max Verstappen for a front row this morning. The Ferraris, Sainz crashed. Leclerc's lap time was deleted for track limits at turn 2. Ferrari 9th and 10th. 9th and 10th for Ferrari. That is the Verstappen second, Ferrari 9th and 10th. There's the two big shocks. It was track limits, like I say, at turn 2 for Charles Leclerc. We'll wait for a replay of that if it comes in. But Lando Norris is on pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. And I tell you something right now, Verstappen will be thrilled with second place today, given where his car has been this weekend. And if he can finish there, that will be great damage limitation. But there's a great race at the front now. We've got 3 different constructors in the top 3. The Ferrari's well out of position. Perez, I'll let you decide if that's out of position. Tsunoda, great qualifying for him in 8th. Fantastic for Alonso 7th. Awesome. I'm running out of words. Awesome for Hulkenberg in 6th place. Only 6 tenths off the fastest time. And the most important thing, I said 29.5 for pole. Norris did 29.5. That's all that matters. All the write-ups, all the journalists writing stories, forget the Norris on pole. Sean got something right. There you go. That's all that matters. Wow. Right then, chat. What do we reckon? If you are going to disappear now, I know a lot of people do tend to disappear once the actual action is over. So please do drop a like before you go and subscribe if you're new. Really appreciate the support. And I'll see you tomorrow for the race reaction, hopefully. Thank you to Mitchell, to Martin, and to Admir for subscribing. Really appreciate your support as the latest ones on that list. So thank you very much. And thanks for all your likes and comments and subs and all that. Really do appreciate it. But if you are leaving, have a great Saturday. Hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, I'll catch you for the qualifying watch along for the USA in a month's time for reasons. But yeah, have a good Saturday and I'll talk to you soon. But if you are staying around for another 20 minutes or so to hear me waffle along for no reason, then absolutely great to have you here. Get your thoughts in the chat. I'll come to you in just a moment. We'll go through the order properly shortly. I'll do my timestamp pause in a few and then we will run through the order and just have a look ahead to tomorrow. But yeah, that's yeah, that's a few surprises there, actually. Alonso incident reviews, unsafe release, no further investigation necessary. And we've got the usual failure to follow the race director's instructions on maximum delta time in investigations for Sainz, Piastri, Ricciardo, Bottas, Stroll, Ocon, Gasly and Leclerc. They are all no further action, so that's all sorted there. Lando Norris on pole is your headline. Max Verstappen, somehow on the front row, did not see that going. Equally didn't see the Mercedes third and fourth. Piastri only fifth, but Leclerc and Sainz, I mean, what a disaster for Ferrari. And it's not like, to be fair, Charles Leclerc was in the fight for pole at the end there. I think he went fourth, didn't he, with that lap? So it's not like he's lost a pole position there. So a real kick in the nuts for me as a Ferrari fan, but... the Verstappen side of me, very happy with P2. Piastri side, not so much with P5. But yeah, 6 pole positions now for Lando Norris, I believe that is. So yeah, it's got interesting at the front for the title now, hasn't it? And that's interesting. If Verstappen can if that finishes like that tomorrow, it's obviously a Norris Grand Prix win, but I'd argue that's a big win for Verstappen, given this is supposed to be one of the weakest tracks coming up for Red Bull. If they think they're going to improve from Kota onwards, for Austin onwards, then that'd be a big win for him if he finishes second tomorrow. But you never know, he may win it, which would be even bigger. So yeah, you're right, Pascal, all the ingredients for a cracking race. We've got Norris on pole and Verstappen alongside him. That's the title fight, if you believe there's a Drivers' Championship fight. That's there going into turn 1. As Jonty said there, congratulations to Max for leading the race on lap 2. Will Norris be able to convert a pole position into leading at the end of the first lap? We'll find out. So that's really interesting. The Mercedes, I would argue, are slightly out of position from where they were earlier in the weekend, but maybe not. Their race pace might be pretty good. So they're in the mix. That's going to be a fun fight. Piastri's out of position in 5th. He's got to come through. We've got Hulkenberg, Alonso and Tsunoda. That's going to be a cracking fight in the early laps. I'm sure of that. And probably actually, I'll preempt it. I'll make a call. That battle, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Tsunoda, is going to be the battle for the final points paying position, or the final couple of points paying positions with the Williams thrown in. That is one to keep an eye on tomorrow if they all get through the first lap together. Leclerc and Sainz have got to come through from 9th and 10th place, assuming Sainz does start 10th, of course. Depends if he needs to take any gearbox or engine penalties. I think the Williams are quicker than 11th and 12th, so they've got to come through. Perez should be quicker than 13th, so he's got to come through. That's a good grid. That is a really good grid. I'm looking forward to that one. So, I mean, I look forward to every race, but that one, that's going to be great. Singapore's a corker as well. And every Singapore Grand Prix has featured, I believe, a safety car. Or was that Baku? This is the problem when I do back-to-back races. The previews roll into one. I think it was every Singapore Grand Prix has featured at least one safety car. So we may see a safety car tomorrow to mix things up. So I like that grid. That's a good grid. The title at the front, everything else behind, cars out of position. Perfect. Annette says, can Lando convert pole into a race win? I know, Rossi, I know I said it yesterday, but I just, like I say, if they all roll into one, we have back-to-back races. Just see me at the end of a triple header. It's a nightmare. You probably have. Lando has learned his lesson. He is going to be 20 seconds out, says LLL. So we'll see. Hopefully he's been practicing on his starts, definitely. Unless it's a 2017 incident, I doubt much action on the track, says Rossi. Nick says, these are Nick's words, surely Max would rather collide with Lando than let him be P1. Max must pass Lando turn 1 to win this title. I still think P2. I'm thinking it. I take your point, but I'm thinking when you look at where he was earlier in the weekend, the skepticism, the pessimism coming into this weekend from Red Bull and everyone around, you know, the F1 pundits and whatnot, we're all saying they're going to struggle here. If he can finish second to Lando Norris tomorrow, that's a big win versus where he was earlier in the weekend. But I don't think Max would go into turn 1 deliberately to take Norris out. He could have done that in 21 in that race, couldn't he? But he didn't, with a different British driver, of course. So I don't think he'd do it in Singapore. A long way to go this season. Red Bull expect to be better in the coming races. So yeah, Pete says Hulkenberg did amazingly. Jerome says, see you tomorrow. Thank you much, Jerome. If you're going, enjoy your weekend. But we'll do a bit of waffle now for 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll leave it there. But I'm going to run through the in just a second. I'm just having a quick look. Kaori says, sneaking in here. Hey, Sean and chat. Hey, Kaori. Hope you're having a good one. Hopefully see you tomorrow. How strong is the undercut at this track? Says Sighted Canvas. That's one for chat. I can't think. John C says Max doesn't need to take any risks. P5s are enough because McLaren keep dropping the ball. There you go. Yeah, I mean, the problem for Norris and McLaren is that it's not... that McLaren's rapid. And Norris can win the Drivers' Championship. I'm still not sure he will, but he can do it. The problem is it's not like Red Bull last year. This year, you've got Ferrari taking points from McLaren. You've got Piastri taking points from Norris. You've got Mercedes in the mix at races. So it's not a case of Norris goes off and wins every race, is it? It's different. But yeah, what happened to Lec and why has the lap time been deleted? It was track limits at turn 2. I don't think we've seen a replay yet, but it was track limits at turn 2. I can give you the time if you want. I don't know if you do want it. Lap time, yeah, car 16 Leclerc at 1:30.119, which would have put him, I mean, to be fair, it would have put him 7th. So, I mean, it's not like it's totally destroyed his day, has it? Track limits at turn 2 at 22:14 local time. So, yeah, that's a good point, actually. Even if you reinstate that 30.119, he's still only 7th. So, which is probably one of the biggest surprises. Ferrari were in this for pole, weren't they? But anyway, quick breather so I can just get ready to do my timestamp later, and then I'll run through the order, and then we'll do a few minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. So Lando Norris, career pole number 6, I think, is on pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. He set the fastest time on 1:29.525, 0.2 of a second quicker than Max Verstappen. Again, that's a big surprise to me that Verstappen is on the front row. Lewis Hamilton in third place, 29.841, 0.3 off the fastest time so far of the day. Russell 1:29.8 in fourth place, 3.5 off the fastest time. Oscar Piastri only fifth, 0.4 off his teammates. Interested to see what he can do from there tomorrow. Nico Hulkenberg, another great qualifying from him, within 0.6 of a second of the fastest time and top 6. Fernando Alonso in 7th place, good qualifying from him as well, 0.7 off the fastest time, and Yuki Tsunoda in 8th place, 0.8 behind the fastest time. Leclerc had his lap time deleted, which was a 1:30.119, as I was just saying in the stream. Would still have only put him about 7th place, so it's not destroyed his race, but the time was deleted, so he dropped to 9th. And Carlos Sainz crashed at the final corner. He has ended up 10th. Whether or not he needs to take penalties, we'll find out tomorrow. But the best place he will start from, unless others take penalties, is P10. Alex Albon was knocked out in Q2. He's 11th, Colapinto 12th, and Sergio Perez knocked out in Q2. 13th place for him. 14th for Kevin Magnussen. 15th for Esteban Ocon. They were also knocked out in Q2. And then knocked out in Q1, Daniel Ricciardo 16th. It was quite close, actually, wasn't it, there? Lance Stroll in 17th, Pierre Gasly 18th, Valtteri Bottas 19th, and Zhou Guanyu props up the table at 1:32.0, half a second slower than his teammate in that session. So, yes. The big headlines then, without doubt, Lando Norris on pole, Max Verstappen putting in a heck of a lap to join him on the front row. That's made tomorrow very interesting indeed in the title fight. Mercedes also, I think, a bit of a surprise, 3rd and 4th. 5th for Piastri is a bit of a shock as well, actually, being so far down. But the Ferraris, talk of them being in the mix for pole position, 9th and 10th is just... as a Ferrari fan, it's well, typical is what I'm going to go with. It's typical. Bloody typical. Excuse my language. It's that kind of weekend. No swearing, please. We're not allowed to swear. Yeah, so that's your talking points, really. I said it a moment ago. I'll reiterate the point for anyone who's coming in later on a timestamp. I think we've got I'll come to that in a minute, Nick. I think we've got a cracking grid tomorrow. The fight at the front, potentially for the title. Can Norris turn that pole into a win? Piastri's got to come past those two Mercedes. Hulkenberg's in a great spot. That battle, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Tsunoda, is going to be cracking. Ferrari have got to come back through. Perez, you'd argue, out of position. I still think the Williams are quicker than that, so they're going to be in the fight. This is going to be great. I mean, we are going to look, let's face it, at probably Norris, Verstappen, maybe Piastri gets in there as well. Then you're going to see Hamilton, Russell, maybe the Ferraris, perhaps Perez comes through, we'll see. Then you've got the battle for the final points between Hulkenberg, Alonso, Tsunoda, the two Williams, maybe a Magnussen gets in there as well. I'm looking forward to it. I think we've got a cracking race lined up for tomorrow. Safety cars very probable as well. We've seen them every year. As Harry Benjamin would say, 100% chance, because that's how probability works. If you're a commentator, apparently, bless him. So yeah, no, good chance for safety car tomorrow too. I mean, it's it's a street track. The barriers are there. There are going to be incidents, aren't there? So even if we have to wait to the last couple of laps like we did in Baku, something will happen, I'm sure. But yeah, great race tomorrow. I can't wait for it. I really, really can't. Nick says the cause, leaving Lando breathless. There you go, Nick. You got it. Appreciate you didn't make the jokes. Also tried to read through my notes there because that threw me off, and now I can't stop singing Breathless. McLaren have had the fastest car almost every year, every race since Miami, says Will. Matt will be peed. Tommy will be buzzing, says C64. There you go. Leclerc and Verstappen fans there. Yeah, I'm both, so there you go. No problem at all, yep. Appreciate you popping along. Hope you're having a good day. Live tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon for the race reaction. I was pondering something earlier, which I'll throw in there very quickly and see what the reaction is in chat. I was pondering, not for this weekend, but maybe in the future, dropping the race reaction and just doing a race watch along instead. I appreciate that I'm saying that to a watch along audience right now who may say that's great and the reaction audience will hate me for changing it, but just something to ponder. You'd still get the same waffle and I'd still give you my immediate reaction to the race because we'd be watching it live together, but I kind of felt like there might be more value in that, but that's something for another day we can discuss, I'm sure. Yeah, I think a race watch along, particularly if F1 is now back, as the kids are saying on social media, it might be worth it. So but We'll think about it. I've not decided. I'm just literally just pondering ideas. It's the great thing about all this working with PF1 now. It's lots of things I can try that maybe I couldn't before. So yeah, just a thought. But anyway, but the point stands. Points are lost and lots of them. Says Rossi. Either way, it's more him than the team this season compared to Lec. That's a whole conversation, Sean. You just read one comment from it, you fool. The course puns are irresistible, says Cited Canvas. Weren't you saying a bit ago, do race reaction specifically ponder on talking points in the race before putting mouth to mic? I'm trying to think what I said. No, I think the point I was making was that I don't do the race watch-alongs because I then don't think I have watched the race well enough to be able to then go and do a race reaction, if that makes sense. I can't do both, is what I'm saying. So I just wanted one or the other, that was all. So yeah, that was kind of, if I've not made that point well, then I do apologise. But yeah, it may never happen, but we'll see. I might end up doing both eventually, who knows? Maybe get some co-host, maybe set up a studio, a Sky studio on site in the paddock. That's never going to happen. FOM are never letting me anywhere near the paddock. Anushka says K-Mag is here with reset penalty points and probably his last season. I think you know what I mean. It's time for K-Mag chaos. Yes, my favourite phrase is he's going to be an absolute menace for the remaining race of the season. But I think it may have been Jamie Chadwick who said it on the Sky coverage. We keep talking about, K-Mag, no penalty points, now he can throw caution to the wind. But I think she made the point that even with penalty points, he still threw caution to the wind. So maybe it changes nothing for K-Mag. We shall see. I bet the reactions I watched the race live, so wouldn't be in for a watch along. There you go. Abby is talking to Will, so I won't read that one out. Can't wait for the Checo K-Mag Monaco repeat turn 1, says Nick. Should we do predictions then before we wrap things up today, rather than just me reading your comments and going, let's. Oh, I don't know about that C64. I doubt it. Predictions then. Who are your? Let's do top 3. Your top 3 tomorrow. I am going to go. I picked Norris for the win on Thursday, so this changes nothing from Thursday. But I'm going to take a punt here. And I'm going to go Verstappen for the win. Norris P2. Piastri P3. Doesn't sound like much of a punt. It's the Verstappen bit that is the punt. I'm going to say he gets the lead either at the start or through an undercut or something like that on Norris, and then has to drive so ridiculously hard in defence that he hangs on. And then everyone starts talking on social media going, Max moved twice in the braking zone. They're racing. That's my impression of X. If you've never heard it before, there you go. Some hard defence from Verstappen to take the win tomorrow. That's my That's my punt there. Let's see what you guys are saying then. So Casey says Verstappen, Norris, and Hamilton for top 3. King says Max overtakes Lando on lap 1. Yeah, Verstappen, Norris, and Hamilton for Mikey. Pete says Hamilton, Norris, and Max. That's a race there, isn't it? That wouldn't mind seeing. Hamilton P3 to P1. Anushka says Max P1, Leclerc P2, Piastri P3. Very realistic. Yes. If we're not being realistic, then it's a Ferrari 1-2 and everyone else retires. So there you go. Hulkenberg podium, says Lizzie. Oh, that'd be great. Nick says Norris, Hamilton, Verstappen. Pete expects a Hamilton miracle. Pete also says don't call Twitter X. I always call it Twitter, but I keep being corrected on it now with work. It's like, don't you mean X? It's like, well, no. It's still twitter.com. I'm like, twitter.com. There you go. Call it twitter.com. Factually correct. Mikey needs another Hamilton win. Lando, Piastri, and Verstappen for Mike. Lewis for the win. Piastri second. It's close second. Verstappen just missed out in third. Maybe Lando final podium spot, but dejected. Says cited canvas. Russell, Piastri, Leclerc, says Quentin. I think Lando is going to drive away easily. Drive away. And Lewis is going to battle Max, says Joe. Norris, Bottas start as usual. Max takes it. Stroll bins it into the barriers. Alonso overtakes on safety car, wins the Grand Prix. I'm delusional, says Ronathano. I will say this. Alonso overtakes on the safety car and wins the Grand Prix. I think we should maybe avoid that as a prediction and a possibility. I don't think... Just imagine that for a second. Let's say Alonso legitimately, there's a safety car called and he wins the race tomorrow. Are we all going to believe it? Rossi says, I'm expecting Piastri, Alonso, Norris for the podium. Incredible W goes with Verstappen. I don't know, Lando looking really focused. I'm sure Max can do it, but he's going to have to really go for it. Says, is it Viral Engine? It is indeed. Fill in the blank says Verstappen, Hamilton, and Russell. Nick says Ferrari 6-7, maybe. Hamilton landing Max, or leading Max, maybe, says Nith. I'll show up the race and see what happens, says Michael. There you go. That's the best way to do it. Cited canvas is off to binge course songs on YouTube for the rest of the day. I'll add them to my Spotify later. Thank you very much, Cited Canvas. I'll see you tomorrow, I'm sure. It would be funny indeed. It would be hilarious. Nick says, watch Stroll. He's the key to the race. And Kaori says, oh, geez, Alonso, safety car gate. Absolutely. Let's not get back into that mess. Who did I get up to? Is it Shoutic? Thank you very much for subscribing. Debonair as well. Thank you for your sub. I'm going to try and pronounce Ava Opak. I apologise if I've butchered that. Thank you for subscribing. Job Fell 1 and Daniela as well. Thank you so much for subbing. Thanks to everyone for subbing today, actually. Really do appreciate your support. Don't forget to drop a like. We're 50 away from 300. That would be pretty cool if we could hit 300 likes. So please do drop a like. And don't forget as well, I'll confirm things with you at a later date, but I think we're going to move your name at the end of every video and stream to the membership. So it may be, if you're interested in that, that you might want to become a member at some point in the future, because we'll start putting your name at the end of videos and streams. But I'll let you know on that when we've confirmed it. But I think that would be a nice way to thank you all. You already get a badge if you remember, so that's pretty cool. Different colour for how long you've been with the channel. But yes, appreciate it. We will leave it there. Because otherwise, you know me, I will waffle until the last one of you leaves if I don't draw the line somewhere. Because, you know, it'll just be me and Kaori or something just talking nonsense all afternoon. I can't stop. I love chatting F1 with you all. But yes, thank you very much for tuning in to the qualifying watch along. I will be back again. Just a reminder, I'll be solo tomorrow for the race reaction. That will be race at 1, allow 2 hours for the race. So I'd have thought I'd be alive about 4 p.m. UK time ish, something around there, give or take, for some race reaction. Then the winners and losers on Monday. Then there'll be a couple of videos out later in the week, and then of course there'll be videos all the way up until the US Grand Prix. But that's the last qualifying watch along for a month, because F1, having just had a summer break, need an autumn break. I keep shrugging at it and making Larry comments because nobody's actually explained why we have the autumn break. All I can assume is because we've got two triple enders two triple headers to finish the season. That's probably why, but there you go. But let's not get into that one. You can follow the channel over on social media as well, at F1 Word or the F1 Word on Twex. Instagram and Facebook, and also don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and drop a like as well before you go. That would be massively appreciated. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.